Greetings from Japan. Um, this is going to be the first attempt at an instructional video because a lot of people have asked me to put things like this up. Um, I'm doing it on the fly, so if I'm not 100% there with everything, please excuse me. I'll try to do my best, but we'll see. So I guess the first thing I will mention is I'm not going to get too deep into music theory or anything. The truth is I'm somewhat of a beginner in it myself. I've been playing guitar for a long time, but I'm not necessarily a musician, I would say. So the concepts will be pretty easy to understand. The techniques in order to produce the sound that you are looking for if you are watching this are difficult. So if you're a beginner, it might not be for you. Alright, first of all, the stuff I use to make sort of the way I sound like I do is a CS1 compression stainer by Boss, which you might have a hard time finding in the States. The CS3 is a piece of shit, don't buy it. An Ibanez Turbo Tube Screamer TS9DX. I only use the function that this is the same as the regular TS9, unmodded. So, and a Dunlop GCB95 wah-wah pedal. The guitar is not my guitar. My guitar is in the shop, getting new pickups put on it, so I'm borrowing this from my friends. They were nice enough to let me borrow it, so I appreciate that. Alright, so I guess the two things I'll talk about in this first installment, so to say, are number one is picking and strumming, the way I do it, and two, arpeggios, and Harry Hood, which is a good song that I like, and you probably do too, because you're watching this. Alright, so first, with picking. Just compare the two. Regular. When I pick, I like to put a lot of force behind the notes when I want to really make the notes sing, as opposed to you can really go. And on the bends, you really feel it this way, as opposed to, which is okay sometimes, but in order to get that sound, you really got to put a lot of force behind the pick. Yes. So, and sometimes muting it with your thumb a little bit at the end helps it to sustain a little more, and I like to do that. And strumming. I'm going to make these 2 points very brief. Strumming, when I strum certain parts of songs, I like to forego the pick and use the outside of my hand because I feel like I have more control doing it. A good example is the bridge part of the wedge, the ocean flowing in my veins part. When it's played like this and this is playing with the pick, as opposed to with the outside of my hand, which I feel like I have a lot more control. Like when I'm doing this, it's much easier for me to find those notes with just my hand rather than the pick. With the pick, it can make it sound a little sloppy sometimes, I feel. So don't feel like you have to always use your friend the pick. Don't get me wrong, I suck at finger picking, but when I strum, I like to use my hand for control. Alright, I'm going to try to start this now, this little discussion, so I can finish this inside of 10 minutes. But basically, when Trey solos, he uses a lot of arpeggios, and the example I would give is something like Slave to the Traffic Light, when you're playing A, G, D, E, whatever position is fine. But I mean, you could string together a solo just using basically the notes from those chords, as opposed to trying to put together a solo in A minor. So let's say you start off. So by just using the notes from the arpeggios of those chords, you can throw together something, you know, that sounds pretty good without having to worry about A minor. And then when the song gets going a little bit more, and you know, you want to play faster, then you can, you know, switch to A minor. And I don't know, I find it easier to find the notes when you're playing in when you're playing a scale, is what they're called, when you're playing a scale, as opposed to trying to find the individual notes. Although, I mean, if you're able to do that, then you should know where they are pretty well by now. But the example I'll give, because I like playing it more, is Harry Hood. And thanks to Emails Tabs for this loop that I'm about to play, or whoever put it on there. But you know, it's your basic G, A, 2 measures, D. And a good technique is, you know, when you're playing the scale, and of course Trey does this all the time, he finishes on different notes, so you know he can take the solo in a different place. If you end on G, excuse me, D all the time, D is the root note. If you end on it all the time, your solo is going to sound pretty boring. So as opposed to, you know, let's say this is playing it with ending on D the whole time. Maybe it sounds good, but you know, you're ending on D every time, you can't really go anywhere. Whereas opposed to, you know, let's say you explore A, it really opens it up a lot. Or F sharp. That if you do it in that style, when you finally come back to the D, then you know you've gone somewhere. Alright, so I'm going to stop digging around here, but to wrap this up in one concise minute, when you're playing this scale, if this is stupid and you already know this, I apologize, but you know, it's important. Let's say the thing I was just playing, don't finish on the D all the time. Explore the other you know, notes of the scale, find out what works and what doesn't work. I mean, I can tell you right now, finishing phrases on F sharp and finishing phrases on A really work, especially because the A, you know, fits into the first 2 chords of the progression that you're playing, and you know, you can really stay on that for a while, and then switch. When you find the G, you know, it really smooths things out and fulfills that whole concept of tension and release. Alright, this is about 10 minutes. I'm going to stop this one here. I will put another one up soon after I get some feedback. And please give me ideas of things that you want to learn. Thank you.